So we just had that third and final debate. Thank goodness it's the final debate of the presidential race. And just more lies and lies and lies. And of course, I wouldn't ever believe that a person can run for president and lie beyond belief, change their history, and totally sway a huge chunk of the American populace to believe their lies. This is totally whack. And if you're wondering why a country is in the shitter, well, there's one reason. Because the voters of this country don't give a shit about really understanding the issues. They just don't care. All they see is, all they hear is the zingers and the slogans and the spin room. You don't need a fucking spin room. Just do your damn homework. Stop listening to these journalists and these commentators. Ooh, I think Mitt Romney was really... Shut the hell up. That's what really pisses me off about this whole shit. You have these commentators thinking that they know everything. And then they have a spin room. What the hell? Do you know what a spin room is? Do you know what spinning means? It means they lie. Spinning means taking something and turning it into another lie. It's the bullshit room. How about that? Let's call it for what it is. It's the bullshit room. But at least it's over. And America is going to make another great mistake. You either keep Obama, which is one mistake, or you elect that Mormon bishop, Mittens Romney, a hedge fund hyena, a Wall Street criminal, which is even a worse mistake. So today they were talking about what? Foreign policy? That was not really what they were talking about. They went back to the same talking points. The fact that no one wants to admit that both parties are working together to actually strip America, strip everybody of their economic rights, fillet you alive like you were some catfish. You say, yes, we're going to take away your rights. We're going to cut your food stamps. We're going to do all this, all this, all this. In fact, Mitt talked about how there were 47 million people on food stamps today. Well, maybe that's because a lot more people need supplemental income for food. Here's a reason why. Because they are being demoted at their job. Either they're graduating from school, which is one of the big, aspects of this problem. You have college graduates not getting jobs, high school graduates not getting jobs, so they join the workforce and they don't have anything to do. So they have to get food stamps. The reason why there's more food stamps is because we have a population growth and there are more people without a job. Because all the jobs are in China. That's where Bain Capital basically shipped all their jobs to China. That's where they invest all their money. I mean, Wall Street depends on China. If China succeeds, the Wall Street criminals, the Club 400, who controls the banking, controls all the criminal enterprises of America, and control the government to some extent, they're the ones who are making all this money out of China. When you buy cheap products at Walmart, which is of course another Bain Capital not an asset, but it's a Bain Capital model. The Bain Capital Mormon model is to have everybody work for Walmart or Staples or McDonald's. That's a job, right? I don't consider that a job. I'm sorry if I offend anybody, but if you're making $4.75 an hour, that's not going to cut it. And you know what I mean by that. It's not going to cut it. I mean, if you go to Staples, the total lack of customer service is beyond belief. I dread every time that I have to go to Staples. I dread every time that I have to go to McDonald's. And I don't... I'd rather die than eat that shit. I dread every time that, my family wants to go to Walmart to buy... It's just ridiculous. That everything that we buy and that we eat sometimes is not even from here. And you're wondering why there are no jobs? Well, that's because we don't work. We buy. We consume. We don't produce anything. And how do we get back to producing things? Is that we have to invest. We have to force Ben Bernanke's hand. We have to get the Federal Reserve. We have to nationalize it in a way. Nationalize the damn thing. And get the National Federal Reserve. Now it will be a National Federal Reserve. Instead of a private Federal Reserve in which they can steal and loot and create credit for their own friends out of thin air for their own gambling. I mean, what's going on right now is not even in Wall Street. It's everywhere. It's in the commodities trade. Anything that has to do with trading, you're going to find these hacks, these hyenas who want to strip these hardworking companies, these small companies, and make sure that they die. When they die, they can sell them for scrap. That's what a hyena is, and that's what Mitt Romney is. Do you understand that, or you want me to draw you a cartoon? Or you want me to get my chalkboard out like that doofus Glenn Beck, another Mormon operative? So what are we talking about today for this debate? They say... And here's what I'm pissed off about also, but Israel. Israel this, Israel that. It's like these two doofuses up there are running for president of Israel. And the thing is, maybe that's what they are. Maybe Israel is an asset of the United States corporation. I mean, that's probably one of the reasons why they debate Israel so much. And for the fact that Netanyahu Bibi, that little fucking weasel, comes to our country and tells us how to run our politics, who the fuck is that guy? I mean, imagine if we went to Israel and told the Knesset exactly what to do. They'll kick us out. Oh, but they can come over here and tell us what to do. They can tell us, oh, vote for Romney. And you know what? The Drudge Report and all these right-wing reactionaries are all taken over by Israel, basically. And to some extent, yes, the Democratic Party is also taken over by Israel. I mean, look what Obama said today. We're going to bomb anybody who bombs Israel. Well, let me ask you this. If we get bombed, would Israel bomb that country who bombed us? That's a very good question to ask. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that. And let me ask you this. What does Israel produce for us? Is Israel an oil-producing country? No. Does Israel export vehicles that we need? Do they export computers, televisions, or chips? Or what do they actually give us in return? Nothing. Let's just say, oh, they're the most important ally. An ally, let me just clarify this. An ally is not somebody that comes in and bullies you and tells you what to do. That's not an ally. That's a spoiled little brat. Plain and simple. And you know what Mitt Romney is? Yeah, of course. He's going to fight. He's going to get us into so many wars. And then he says he's going to use drones. Oh, that's really good. Oh, that's going to be great. You know how many drones have killed innocent people? You claim to be pro-family, yet these drones go out in Pakistan and they kill all these innocent families. Do you wonder why Pakistan is so fucking angry right now with the United States government? Because of the usage of these drones? Oh, and Mitt Romney wants $2 trillion for the military. And that is because the elite, the Club 400, the creme of the creme, what they want is more of these drones. They don't want to deal with veterans and soldiers and all that shit. They're gonna get drones and they're gonna fly them all over the place, and they're gonna fly them here too, in our own soil. And it's already been reported that they use drones on people. The police department uses, and the FBI, they use drones and all that. I don't know. I just don't feel comfortable with that kind of shit because these kinds of machines will always make mistakes. It's better to be 100% perfect than 95% perfect. And what else that we're talking about? These buttheads, Beavis and Butthead. Oh, okay. They were talking about increasing military. The thing is that Mitt Romney was crying because we don't have this big imperialistic Star Wars type military. Because he is being supported by and is being pushed by neocons like John Bolton. You know who that guy is? John Bolton? Well, wait a minute. He supports gay marriage. I don't know why he's under this administration. I don't know. You see, it doesn't matter. These politicals don't care about gay marriage. They don't care about any of these issues. What they really care about is to destroy and to blow up things so that way they can get money out of it. And that's how it really works. You get that? John Bolton is a loudmouth dumbass. A neocon who wants to invade Russia. That's his main prerogative, is to invade. And this is the guy that's going to be the next Secretary of State. He wants to attack Russia, attack Iran, put China on alert, basically, going after China. In essence, what they want is this genocidal World War III and kill off half the world's population. That's going to end up happening if we let these psychos run the government. I mean, they're pretty psychopathic. And these are the neocons that the people of America rejected in 2006 and 2008. They threw them out of government. And now you want them back? What the hell's the matter with you? Nobody's asking about John Bolton. Nobody's asking about Mitt Romney's Mormon theories. The scorched earth theory. Many of these evangelical Christians and Mormons believe in that shit. It's great that the world will end one day, because then Jesus Christ will come. Well, and for the Mormons, he will come back to Missouri. He's coming from Kolob. I don't know what he is, but he's coming. Jesus Christ is coming back to Missouri if we start World War III. And the reason why everybody's focused on Israel and the Middle East is it all has to do with religious fanaticism. Nothing to do with politics, nothing to do with resources, nothing to do with the economy. It's all about religious, dogmatic fanaticism that will get us destroyed. And Mittens is all about that. That's what he believes in. Fanaticism. And nothing else. And, that's pretty much what I really wanted to recap about today's debate. Who really won? Nobody won. The American people, we have lost. We're totally we are the losers. Because we're being told and we're being forced that these are the only two buttholes that you can actually vote for. And I know that a lot of my listeners who support Obama, fine, you support Obama, I don't really care. But those of you who support Romney, why? I mean, we already have enough problems with this one guy, Obama. Now you want somebody who is 10 times worse than Obama? What's wrong with you? And if you actually been paying attention, you have noticed that Romney has totally changed. Who is this guy? I mean, from the convention all the way to this debate, he has totally changed. Then somebody, who was it? Was it Pat Buchanan's sister? That inbred stupid bitch. What did he say the other day? She was like, oh no, Mitt Romney doesn't support the marriage amendment. Now he does. But first he didn't do it. But, who knows what this guy believes in? And that's what I tell gay people and gay activists. Don't worry. This guy's basically he is full of shit. He is an empty shell. But at the same time, full of shit. There's no real beliefs except for the ones I've already stated that Mr. Romney believes. Bishop Romney. And totally, when I see gay people trying to evaluate this based on gay issues, I'll say this. You might think that we have been better off the last 4 years with Obama. And those of you gays that support Romney, get out of here. Just bury yourselves. Because you're not really being misled. I mean, the Republican Party doesn't support you. It doesn't support your economic rights. So why should you be there being the cheerleader for this bishop, this Mormon bishop who doesn't, who who knows and believes within himself that homosexuals are evil and they're going to go to hell. That's what they believe. Don't give me anything else. So you have no credibility with me today, right now. But those of you who support Obama because of the gay issues, and in fact, none of the debates we were able to talk about those in that, and you have to ask yourself, how are we achieving many of the rights that we are claiming through the courts? And now we're heading towards the ballot box. We're now asking voters in Maine to support gay marriage. Voters in Maryland. Voters in Washington State. I mean, you get the trend here. There are many ways to get what we need without having Obama in the office. Now, my prediction is it's a big if the people of this country actually turn rabid mad and vote in for this Mormon bishop, I don't think things will get a lot worse. I mean, they can't get a lot worse. They can't. I mean, on the gay issue, on the gay part, you're still going to have a Congress that's not going to pass anything. Democrats are not going to give a shit. They're going to just blame the Republicans because they don't want to work on this issue. And you have to look for the past 4 years, what has happened. You want to look at the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell? Fine, look at it. Look at what happened during the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Ask yourself, when was the bill to repeal it passed? What time? Oh, during the lame duck session. Why was that? Because it was pushed away for other things. Obama didn't lift one finger for that bill to pass. Sure, he signed it. Of course he did. It was a grand slam for him. He needed that bill to pass so he can have some cred with you, with all of us, with the gay community. He signed that hate crimes bill that rarely gets enforced except for, well, 2 occasions it's already been enforced over 2 years. Even though there's like thousands of hate crime going on every year, somehow that law that he passed is not really enforceable in many instances. In many, many instances. So it's basically a useless law. Let's talk about Employment Non-Discrimination Act. The Democrats held power in 2009 through 2011. Nothing happened there. What happened there? You were busy with other things, right? You were busy with Obamacare, basically a bailout for the insurance companies. What else were you busy with? Oh yeah, you were busy with curtailing the civil liberties. You were busy with the NDAA Act. You were busy forming these super committees and these super committees with Superman, Wonder Woman, and all these other cretins to look over the economy, which of course in turn made it worse. Now, you gay Democrats have a lot of thinking to do. A lot of thinking. Is this a direction that you want to go with? Not only in gay rights, but in economics and everywhere else? That you support a party that lets itself be trampled all over by the Republicans. I mean, that's what happened. I mean, the Employment Non-Discrimination Act is, in fact, a compromise between the Republicans and the Democrats. In fact, there are many not many, but there are a few number of Republicans that are supporting the Employment Non-Discrimination Act because it was a compromise. I think it was passed in 2006, and we didn't even have that much of a majority as with Democrats, but then it was passed. And Bush didn't sign it. He refused to sign it. And it was passed many times with Republicans. You want to ask yourself, why is that? Because it only deals with employment. That's what the title says. It doesn't deal with anything else. In other words, it's not a Title VII right that you are fighting for. It's a very limited, very specific law that deals with employment and promotion. And pay, I think it does. Does it deal with healthcare? No. Does it deal with public accommodations? No. Does it deal with any of these? No, it doesn't deal with that. It's not a Title VII edition. You know, we have Title VII that prohibits discrimination based on certain race, ethnicity, I think even religion. I'm not really sure. And disability. But yet, ENDA doesn't add sexual orientation to Title VII. So, gay Democrats, you need to relook at this. If there are reactionary Republicans supporting Employment Non-Discrimination Act, like this Tea Party Republican that came out last week, you're going to have to ask yourself why they support it. It's not because, oh, they came out and they believe that discrimination is wrong. No, they said, well, this is fine enough for me. This is the maximum that I can do, which is like 10% of the actual Title VII rights and Title VII protections. I'm just giving you an example for those of you who support Obama. How much we have been duped by Obama. Now, I know and I understand that Obama is a lot less worse than Romney. And you have another problem too. Who's going to control Congress? That's one problem. If you have a reactionary Congress again for the next 2 years, it's over. The Human Rights Campaign and the Advocate, they also came out and said, look, if we have a reactionary Congress and a reactionary Senate, forget about it. We're not going to have anything for the next for a decade. And we're focused on this presidential race like a laser. I understand why, because there's a lot of executive power involved, and of course the president gets to appoint the justices of the Supreme Court. And you want another Scalia, another Clarence Thomas, reactionaries of the Supreme Court, fascists in every way possible, who are saying it's okay that you can throw gays in jail. Basically, you can declare Sharia law in this country if you like. That's what Scalia said. And those of you who are conservative, listen to this. Scalia said that you can also curtail the Second Amendment if you want. You know, and I'm a supporter of the Second Amendment. I am a huge supporter of gun rights. And I'm telling you that we're dealing with a fascist in every way possible. Gay rights, gun rights, doesn't matter. He wants to curtail it. He wants no rights. Imagine if this Scalia meets Jefferson or meets Washington or meets Hamilton. Our founding fathers will laugh this guy off the court. They will try to impeach this guy. And I'm just giving you examples. I'm just trying to think this through. You know, I'm not just here to give you a spin. If you want to spin, then go to ABC, go to CBS, go to Fox News. They have the spin room. The room of lies and bullshit. And crapola, baloney, whatever you want to call it. It's all going to bite you in the ass. Because if you're too stupid to realize that you're being misled, that they're playing you like a fucking violin, then you know what? I don't know why you should be voting at all. You should be a schmuck. You should be somebody that lives in the streets selling pencils out of a cup. That's all you should be doing. Because you have no mental capacity to understand the geopolitics, the backroom deals, the behind-the-scenes work, the real decision-making that's going on in this country behind the closed doors and behind the White House. The White House is a stage. And a good reporter wouldn't just report on what the play or the musical was about. The reporter will report on who the actor is, where the actor came from, where he worked at before, what training did he have, all this, etc. And we should have the right to know that about our government and our leaders. And we should know who's pulling the strings. It's not really the people in Congress. This is not the president that's pulling the strings. His strings are being pulled. By who? But by the Club 400. There you go. That's where you lead. I mean, I can sit here all day and tell you how that happens and how you can lead to that. I'm just giving you the answer. The 400 Club. Or Club 400. 400 richest families. And they control about, I will say, 40% of the properties and land and assets of the USA. And it's funny that just like a week ago we had this survey that came out that says 3.4% of Americans are gay. And Tony Perkins, that CIA operative, came out, head of the Family Research Council. He came out and says, well, how come 3.4% or 3% gets to dictate the 97%? Shut up. You don't believe in that crap. I mean, it's so farcical. It's so stupid. It's so comical, cartoonish. It's Mickey Mouse. What this person is saying, what this stupid asshole is saying. I mean, he's not that stupid. He knows that people are buying it. Yeah, if only 3% of the American population is gay, then why the 97% have to bend over backwards? You're not even bending backwards for anything, or forwards, or whatever. All right? You don't have to do anything for gay people. Just leave us alone and let us get married. That's all. I mean, what's the big deal? And then, of course, but they're saying that the 97% is being affected by the 3%. How about this? 0.0010% of the population owns 40% of the land. How about that? Oh, that's fair enough. Oh, that's fair. That's good. That's the fair market. Or not the fair market, the free market. Because I support the fair market. Not the free market. Free market is all free for all anarchy. You can buy, sell, whatever you want. You can actually go to China and build their empire and you fuck us over. Basically, that's what's going on. The free market has been, in fact, been infected with a virus. The virus of greed. And if you want a face of that, look no other than Mitt Romney. At least with Obama, he's not that greedy. But he's really a stooge. Obama is really a stooge. And Romney is a Scrooge. There you go. Yeah, it rhymes. Come up with a poem or a rap song for that kind of stuff. So I'm just thinking here out loud. You know, this is what I think. I mean, this is really, I want to sum up this election as. That we are being trapped, we're in a quagmire, and that's it. Because the American people refuse to wake up. What's going on right now? And the gay people, we also need to wake up. You want to save America and have people on our side? Let's do it. We should align ourselves with workers, with the working class, with unions, with the average American. I mean, what I've been seeing lately with these gay rights groups, and I understand why they're doing it, I understand completely, is that they're joining forces with the Koch brothers and with Soros, with rich sugar daddies. Fine, do it if you want to kiss their asses and get money out of them so we can do these elections. But the problem is that we're not going to where we need to go to. You can get the money from rich sugar daddies and from the 50% of the 400 Club, but you're not going to the public. You're not going to the people. You're not going to the working class, the blue-collar workers, the white-collar workers, the poor working moms, soccer moms, NASCAR dads. Remember NASCAR dads? We're not being effective. We are basically imitating the ruling class. That's what we're doing. Well, the reason why Brian Fisher and all these other hacks are succeeding in many places around the country is because they have the people on their side. People are fucking ignorant. And the only way that you can help them wake up is you pull apart the world that's been constructed by Karl Rove and by John Bolton and by all these reactionaries and media groups and newsbusters and Fox News and all these and even to extent, yes, MSNBC, the left-wing media groups that are trying to make this about, you know, this whole election about fighting each other, fighting Republicans and Republican voters, red states, whatever, blue states. And I don't view it that way. I think that a lot of people, the majority of the American voters, are in crisis. They are in mental, psychological crisis, and I feel for these people. I feel for the American population. And the average voter is plagued with media bias, both left and right, and everybody in the media, except for a few, are not going to give you the all-out truth. That's why they have spin brooms, so they can spin stuff. So they can spin that bullshit around and you can have a big old mess. And I feel for you, American voter, and you undecided voter. Who are you? You're nobody. You think you own this election? No, you don't. The masters do. The controllers, the Club 400, the billionaires, the trillionaires. They're the ones. If you're a millionaire, you're not rich. You just have a couple bucks here and there. That's all you do. Maybe you can get laid, a hot chick, because you have you have a couple million here and there. Have a nice car, have a nice life, have a nice house and whatever. That's fine. Nothing against that. But let me tell you something, average millionaire. The average billionaire and the trillionaire doesn't like it that you have that kind of money. They want it all for themselves. It's called greed. It's an infection. It's a virus. And that virus has created another illness among the American people, and that's ignorance, stupidity, and total lack of interest in saving ourselves from ourselves. So this election is about educating yourselves, because you can vote for whoever you like. It's not going to fix anything. The only thing that's going to happen is if you vote for Romney, it's going to be a lot worse. That's all I'm really seeing right now. If you're voting for Obama, well, good for you. Well, what you're doing is you're stopping the machine from getting a lot bigger and a lot worse. But you're not really doing anything to fix the problem. All you're doing is trying to fix the symptoms. That's all that Obama is doing. He doesn't do really much of anything. I mean, he's talking about in the debate that we should build infrastructure. Well, what the hell have you been doing for the last 4 years, Obama? Certainly you're not building infrastructure. Because if you would have built it already, that wouldn't be a talking point. You as a voter have to really take it all in and really delineate, observe, take everything apart and look at it objectively. Do your research. You want to know what happened in Benghazi in Libya? You want to know what really happened? What really happened? Well, do your research. Not just the mainstream media. Go to the international media. Go to European media outlets. Independent media where you are free from the political biases of the American media cartel. I look at French news outlets, Italian news outlets, Tunisian news. So most of the news that I got from Libya is from Tunisia and from Egypt as well. I read all these news out. It's translated for me, and I read what's going on. And I know for a fact that the guy who was behind, his name is Kumu, behind this whole Benghazi disaster, where they killed 4 people, including the U.S. ambassador, who some people say is a homo. I don't really know about that. But that Kumu guy, who is a leader of this hit group, this death squad, that went after the ambassador and killed him at a secret safe house that nobody else knew except for the CIA. And that was even presented in a that's why you have to watch C-SPAN sometimes. And I know it's boring, but sometimes you see things that unravel in these hearings and these meetings, and you're like, wait a minute, but that's not what Fox News. Yeah, Fox News is spinning everything for you. During a recent House hearing, I think it was the Intelligence Committee, I think it was, and they were talking about Benghazi. They were talking about the consulate. And then this, I don't know if it was a CIA person. I don't know who it was. But this girl, this young lady came out and she presented to the panel of congressmen a picture of Benghazi, the consulate, and everything else. A satellite picture from above. And immediately, one of the Utah Mormon congressman. This is why I think there's a Mormon mafia within the CIA. Say, hey, put that picture down there, honey. Put it down. Because he didn't want us to see what was on the picture. And I saw that picture. And I did a little bit more research, and I found the picture again on the internet. The same exact photo. And there you had CIA facilities all around where this guy was assassinated. And you have, at least according to some reports I read, it's between either 10 or 12, but it's around 12. 12 CIA special operatives, special ops, were there to protect the ambassador. And they were there and they stood down and not protect the embassy and the consulate. That's what happened during 9/11 of 2012 of this year. Now, is it Obama's fault? I don't think it is. I think it's more towards Hillary Clinton. Hillary might have known something, but I think the CIA is being plagued. It has a virus. The Mormon virus. It's a Mormon takeover of the CIA. That's why you had that Benghazi incident. And it happened right in the middle of this election season. The October surprise, but it happened in September. You see, you just have to do your homework. You have to find out what happens. You know, what is this shit? Can't just be repeating and regurgitating what Bill O'Reilly, Sean Hannity, or Rachel Maddow, or what anybody of these people say. You have to look at the things, you have to look at the evidence yourself, and you have to draw some conclusions that you may not ever think that you can draw. That's called research. So that's what I have to say about that. So if you want to vote for Obama, go ahead, be my guest. I'm not going to be mad at you if you do so. It's not my problem. You know, it's up to everybody's conscience. But I think I wouldn't vote for either of them. I mean, I've already made up my mind. And it's not because I'm undecided. I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want. Feed me, clothe me. I want to be on CNN. I want to meet Frank Luntz. I want to be on those undecided voter panels so I can get a little dial button and feel so important. Fuck that shit. If you're undecided, get the fuck out of here. You're worthless. If you haven't done your homework yet, if you haven't figured out who these doofuses are, get the fuck out of here. Why even play? I'm undecided. It's not like you're going to a wedding and you're trying to choose between beef or fish. And even then, you know, I would know, but okay, you know, I'm going to a wedding and they're going to serve, the menu says beef or fish. Okay, I think I'm going to move for beef. Okay, made up my mind. There you go. See how that was so easy. And here it is with this election. Okay, Obama is a puppet for the Wall Street criminals and the Club 400. He is warmongering behind the scenes, but he's not using troops, although he's using a lot of drones. In Pakistan, he's creating havoc there, creating more enemies. He let the bankers loot the treasury and created more credit for the gamblers of Wall Street. He has not been able to create more infrastructure or invest in infrastructure at all. We have more companies going overseas and taking jobs to China. All right, Mitt Romney, who is this guy? Oh, he's a Mormon bishop. But who cares, right? No, but look at the Mormons. Oh, look what they say about America. They hate America. They have the blood oath of vengeance against America. You can look it up on Google. You can look it up anywhere you like. Let's see. Okay, his father was a polygamist or polygamist believer. His grandfather was a true polygamist. He practiced polygamy. And he has a lot of kids. Maybe that might be some sort of thing. I don't know what it is. Fine. I'm all for everybody's privacy and right to choose, you know, a right to choose how many children you want to have. Well, he used to work at Bain Capital as he was a head honcho there. What did he do? Oh, wait a minute. He really fucked up small companies and medium-sized companies, large companies, destroyed them, indebted them with these frauds and fraudulent. May I say that fraudulent loans. Got them to basically destroy themselves with these mounting debt, liquidated them, and made money from them as scrap metal. And he destroyed thousands upon thousands of jobs. Well, that's really great. Mitt Romney has lied. He has said before that he was to the left of Ted Kennedy regarding gay rights. Now he's in favor of, supposedly, I don't know what it is anymore, but he said last time that he is in favor of a marriage amendment that will ban not only gay marriage, but will ban civil unions, and will ban gay marriage and civil unions retroactively. Any gay marriage that has been enacted in the country will be banned and will be annulled, and people will be divorced. How about that's so lovely. He also supports more drones than we have today, 12 times more drones that we have. Drones that will be patrolling the streets, patrolling Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iraq, killing innocent people, bombing the wrong targets. We've seen that before. He wants to go back to Iraq and reopen that old wound. He wants to increase the military spending, even though military spending, the military doesn't want it anymore. The Pentagon has said we don't want it, but he wants it, right? Because of his Mormon missionary ambitions. And of course he wants to cut Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, gut all of these programs, gut it all. Who cares about the poor? Who cares about the elderly? Who cares about them and the sick and the people who cannot help themselves? Who cares about that? Let's get rid of Social Security. Let's create a huge amount of anti-American genocide against the people of this country. Oh, that's really swell, isn't it? So there you go. I laid that all for you to decide. For me, it's a simple decision. None of the above. Simple decision. None of the above. I mean, why can't we have that decision? I bet you that if we have none of the above on the ballot this election year, I think none of the above will win. And if that's the case, if none of the above gets 50 or more percent, 50.0%, then none of the above wins. That means that nobody gets to be president. We get to do it again. That's really true democracy right there. We could have that kind of system. None of the above. Get out of here. And if you ever voted off as none of the above, you cannot run for any office ever again. Period. You're done. That would be a good thing. Anyway, so I am trying to lay this out for you, and hopefully you learned something. If you did not, well, that's okay. There's always the next election, right? The next crook that wants to come in and steal from the American people. I mean, look at it this way. I want you to really ponder this really well. The American president makes on salary $400,000 a year. I think there's increases on that. I'm not sure, but it's around $400,000. That's a salary. $400,000 a year. And yet, these people are spending $500 million a piece. Almost. On each side. That's close to $1 billion on this election for a job that pays $400,000 a year. Isn't that crazy? This is the only career, politics, in which people, including the president, Congress, governors, All of it. All the way down to city council. City councils in a medium-sized city will cost, that seat will cost you $200,000. And yet, some of these positions don't even pay anything. You got to wonder, why are these people trying to pay so much money out of their own pockets? And even, of course, you have to fundraise and get others to pay for it. You pay so much money for a job that pays 0.001% of the money that you spent to get the job. Have you ever wondered that? Think about that while you go out and voting. Think about it deeply. Because you can only conclude from this is that we have been hijacked. The people that want these jobs want power. There's something in there that they get out of it that is so valuable to them that they're willing to pay millions for that kind of a job. Because it's not really a job, is it? It's a position of power. They have it, you don't. Plain and simple. Okay? So think about it. I got my ballot already because I am an early voter and I have not really voted yet. It's not because I'm undecided and I don't know. It's because I'm really being dreadful. I'm undecided as to whether to vote or not because I'm so dismayed by everything, by the voter fraud, vote fraud that's been going on, election fraud. People's election forms, registration forms are being thrown out into the garbage and all that shit. There are people out there who don't want certain people to vote because they're going to lose power and they don't want to lose it. They want the power away from you. They're going to go to tremendous lengths to do that. They're going to distract you with stupid issues like the gays and all this shit. Because they don't want you to know that they have the power. And they work for the Club for 100. They don't work for you. You didn't give them the $1 million donation. You didn't give them anything. Why would they respond to you? Think about it. And then go and vote. Okay? Good.